Hi guys, Alice Taylor down here at Lytham Golf Academy, and today we're going to do a little test between the Ping G400 and the PXG 0311XF irons. So when PXG started up, quite a bit was made that there was one or two of the designers went from Ping across to PXG, and you can understand the kind of excitement of getting to do that, kind of no budget, no time scale. But I think when you look at these two clubs side by side, you can definitely see some very similar influences in them, even though one's cast, one's forged, and the way they go about creating that forgiveness is very, very different. So obviously we've got the cavity back with the G400, lots of weight down in the bottom though, promoting getting the ball up in the air, a nice strong loft. Gives us that distance but still gets the ball in the air. And with the PXG, again, you can see the tungsten screws in the bottom, but a nice thick sole, both a fairly thick top line. But I'm going to hit 5 real balls at a flag 180 yards away, real golf balls on GC2, and we're going to see out the G400 and the 0311XF which is the most forgiving and which maybe gives us the easiest ability to control the ball and ultimately get nearest to the flag. Now, I do appreciate a large part of that is me, but both of these are very, very forgiving golf clubs, and in fittings 2017 and into 2018 have performed very well. Obviously price point's very, very different, and I'm sure the price point the PXG is at, certain guys wouldn't be looking at that product. But I'm interested to see how these perform side by side. So let's have a look. 5 real balls, see who comes out on top. So we'll start with the G400, just simply because that's the stuff I've fitted the most of out of these two models. And like I said, 5 real balls, 180 yards, off we go. So a little pushy one, definitely not going to draw back from there. Lengthwise was good, but just missing off to the right. But felt nice and solid. Again, nice solid strike. More my usual shape there, just turning over. Just a fraction short, which was a little bit surprising. But I know from kind of full review and when I've tested these against other product, G400 very, very forgiving, incredibly easy to hit. Let's maybe just set off a bit left. Just turning over, might just catch the left side of the green. Again, take that. Like I said, easy to get the ball in the air, really good, powerful golf club. Don't care how forgiving it is if you put a swing on it like that. That's just me, that one. Poor strike, poor club face control. And let's go one final one with G400. Better. Maybe just not turning over quite enough. But again, a good solid shot. So one very poor swing from me, one where I just didn't deliver the club face how I needed. Other 3 good solid shots, but let's switch over now to the PXG and give you some feedback about that one. So I think when you look down on the PXG, it doesn't surprise me when guys pick it up and when they look down say it looks very like a Ping club. I think it does look incredibly like the Ping to look down on, but forged as opposed to cast, so I'm expecting a very different sound and feel to this club. Much, much softer off the face. Just pitched a little bit short and just released from landing in the fringe. So that's my best shot so far. And again, very kind of confidence inspiring to look at with this club. Again, felt lovely, very similar to the previous shot. Again, maybe just not carrying quite as far. But 2 from 2. And again, I do like the feel of the PXG stuff. I think that one's quite going to shape back. Felt a little bit lower on the face as well, that one. So just chased up. Contact not quite as good, but both of these models very, very forgiving clubs. Shot number 4. And that's going to have to just hang on down that left-hand side. Just going to maybe cling on to the fringe. And one final one with PXG. I think that's going to go left. Bit too much shape on that one. Yeah. Okay guys, so 5 shots with each. Let's look at the kind of overall results, and then I'll give you feedback on kind of looks and feel, overall performance, and we'll see out of the G400 or the 0311XF, which I think is the best club. Okay then guys, so we'll look at the numbers. So club head speed, a little bit quicker with G400. I could argue that the shaft was just very, very fractionally lighter in the Ping. Ball speed very, very similar at 118 to 117. Launch just fractionally lower with the PXG. When we look at spin numbers, got a little bit more spin with the PXG as well. So ball speed was down slightly and I spun it a little bit more. So you would expect slightly shorter carry. Now if we look at that stacked up, we saw 166 carry with the Ping against 162. Now we saw more rollout with the PXG, even though it had generally higher spin. I had a few shots that pitched in the fringe that then released up the green, but all in all, very, very close performance. And if we look at actually accuracy, my average was 9 yards right with the Ping, 7 yards left with the PXG. Now I would also say though that the big right one that I had 2 misses to the right that were much bigger with the Ping, whereas there was maybe a much more consistent shot with the PXG. Okay guys, so we've looked at numbers between G400 and 0311XF. And being honest, there's nothing really in it. Ball speed was very, very close. A little bit more spin with the PXG, which is just down to me being millimeters difference on strike. Performance-wise, within a few yards. Now, I did hit more greens with the PXG than the G400. Does that say that the PXG is more forgiving? Not really, because I think that was more down to how I delivered the club face. If we looked at consistency of yardages, I think they were both very, very good. So I would say on forgiveness, very, very equal. I think looks, almost identical to look at. Feel, that's for me where there is a big difference. I do love my forged product, so I do think that the PXG feels that much nicer. Now, if you're not looking at price point at all, I think the PXG wins for me on that one. But when you're thinking that the PXG is maybe 3.5, 4 times more expensive than the Ping, I think that's going to be a massive contributing factor for most guys. And that's why I personally believe for the mass market, the G400 would absolutely wipe the floor with it. I think it's very tough to see much better performance with this type of club than you get out of the G400, and therefore I'm going to say my winner today would be the Ping G400. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share it. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.